Hey, how's it going? Probably seen by the thumbnail what this is going to be about. And it's probably like every other video you see. I mean, when I say every other you scroll by, whether it's YouTube, uh, Facebook. I don't do TikTok, so either one of them. It would keep you busy literally every second of every day, watching the same ones over and over. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with that, because I'm doing the same thing. And I think everybody ought to do the same thing, because obviously our country has lost its way. I know some people are not wanting to talk about some things, and I understand. I get it. I try to stay positive on my stuff, and maybe try not to talk about uh, that as well. But folks, today we had something happen today that is you can mark today, June the 30th of 2026, officially the beginning of the end. Officially. It might take a little while, and it might not. And the things I'm going to touch on here is obvious, some things. But nobody in this country can afford to live. If, well, if you've got a certain amount of money, then you'll do all right, because it's not going to matter. There's certain amounts of money you could just basically live off the interest of it. And I hear this every day. I have a partner in some things that they're probably worth $100 million, if not more, easily. And he's constantly asking me, "Man, why don't you go get you a new truck? And why you want to act so broke for?" I said, "Dude, I am broke. What are you talking about acting? Dude, you own dozens of houses, uh, and on and on and on. Just go on about that nonsense. But no, I'm not buying no new truck. Absolutely not, or new anything. Matter of fact, I'm about to quit doing what I'm doing, because seemingly it's not working out either. I mean, it's every day I feel like I'm just down with the shovel, and I'm just digging down deeper and deeper and deeper for nothing. And it's 94 degrees where I'm at right now. And I just took a minute out here to get out of one thing to get into here and make this video. Been thinking about this today, and sitting here, and I'll tell you what made me think about it even more. Sitting here after I watched this decision today, that anybody that's born in this country, whether they're from here visiting or whatever it is, they're automatically a citizen. As if we don't have a whole bunch of that anyway. The flat out invasion that we had. And I said this in 2020, and everybody looked at me like I had three eyes. When they announced what they were going to do in 2020, shutting, yeah, I said right then, we'll never be the same. We'll never recover from what's fixing to happen. And I'm not talking about the wrong president. I'm not talking about any of that. That don't make no difference. As you can see already, we've had a new one in there for a year and a half, and we're done over $5 trillion in debt more. Nobody's trying to get us out of debt. Everybody's trying to get another bigger piece of the pie. And then today, what the Supreme Court ruled today was just put the lid on it today. That means a person can leave here as a kid, as a baby, or whatever, and come back to this country 15, 20, 25 years from now. Don't matter. Because you're still a citizen here, wherever you go grow up at, in a third world country or wherever you want to go. And I've said this all along, that this country, the people serving in our armed forces that was there previous to all of this happening would not fight their own country. I would not let someone tell them they have to. So that's being said, go out and get other people that will, that's not from here, but are from here, if you get what I mean. And then they'll do it because they can reap the benefits of it as they have been their whole life or will have. This is all a meant to happen situation that we're all in. I've said it for the past 6 years. Over and over and over and over. And now it's finally come home to roost. Yeah. Yeah. And I've had people that I've told this for years and finally stated, you were right. You were right. But where I live, it's taken it 5 years, basically, to catch up. And now it's pretty much like that everywhere. That's why you're seeing all the videos where people are making $100,000+ a year, bringing home $6,500 a month, bring home, and you still can't, and you're single and you still can't make it. And the rent, your rent $2,000 to $3,000 a month, man. There's nobody can afford that. People have to give up their homes because they can't afford to pay what it takes to even live. People are selling their property because the taxes are so expensive. And let me just tell you this. My property has been in a trust now for 64 years. A living trust. And it's going to put me, my parents bought this back in the early 60s, early to mid 60s. And I'm going to have to probably put it up for sale, or the majority, just say the majority of it. My partner's willing to buy it however much I want, because he's got a farm actually adjacent to me, and he will buy it and go from there. Well, what do you, everybody is talking about leaving here and going someplace else. I get it. Why you would want to. Are we just trading? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to trade with other countries, let them come here and live in our country, and then we go live in theirs. That we have to go by whatever their standards were for however long it's been. And they can just come and make up the new standards here. I don't understand why we have to conform to everybody else that's coming in here, because they won't conform to us. Nobody's coming in here and holding our flag up or speaking our language. And where I live, I go into a place, man, and I hear 2 or 3 different languages being spoken. if you don't know it, you have no idea what they're saying. Now, I do know a little bit of Spanish. I know enough to know what they're talking about in some facts. And then when I hear somebody say something that I know, I'll answer back. And they look at me like, oh, he understands something. Yeah, I just understood what you said about me. But it's, in my head right now, there's so many things running through my head, I can't get them out of my mouth quick enough or keep them in line enough because I'm so pissed off. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I don't like to cuss. I don't like to say anything like that because I do feel convicted when I do such a thing. I feel like I'm letting the world get the better of me, and I shouldn't. But it just makes me so angry that all of us are being thrown to the freaking wolves. And we have been, honestly, for the last 26 years. It started, actually, when 2000 started. That's when everything was started getting in a row. Like ducks. But in the past 6 years, it's gotten really fast. They expedited us in 2020 into what we are now. It's just taken these years of catching up to us. It's been this bad for a long, long time. But now they just took the blinders off everything. Your food, everything that you have to buy. When you go into the store and you get things that you got to have, maybe depending on the size of your family. Like some of the things I get, I have to buy maybe about once every 6 months. Or if that. And I go in and buy $90 to $100 of something like that. Really? And I didn't get not one can of anything to drink, it's pretty much water or juice for me. I'm not a soda drinker or anything, but I don't drink alcohol. I'm not saying nobody should. I'm just nothing against you. If you do that, that's fine with me. I don't care. But I'm just saying, I don't know how anybody could afford to buy groceries, pay daycare, pay your rent or mortgage or whatever, and have children and pay for all the things it takes for that, and smoke or dip and drink beer or any kind of alcohol. Man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you make that kind of money. I do okay. And when I say okay, it used to be 5-6 years ago, I would consider myself all right. Not now. No. Not even close. I said, and yesterday in my office, I posted a video yesterday of the floods we had here over the weekend in central Kentucky. It devastated in places. I mean, it came 6+ inches of rain 30 miles south of me within a couple hours. And it just wiped it out. Not as bad as North Carolina and all that was back a few years ago, but almost. Just not as concentrated in one area. But folks, we're gonna let, it's just happening. We're gonna be replaced. Whether we still live here or we're not. But they're gonna replace us. They're gonna replace our military with people that defend what they want to defend. And if we don't walk in step, then we'll pay the price for that. You're not going to own your home. You're not going to own your car. You're not going to have a privacy. You're going to be on a payment system that they control every dime of it. If you buy something they don't like, guess what? They'll shut that bad boy down. You're going to get so much gas a week. You're going to get so much food a week. This is what's going to happen. It's coming. It's already here. It just ain't been implemented all the way. But when these centers get fired up all over the place like they're going to be, and the jobs just losing by the thousands a day everywhere, they're going to have us in so much poverty that we have to submit, because they know they can't make us submit as long as we're making the money we make. They have to. They're taking that away from us. They're going to take all that away from us. I'm going to tell you something. There's one thing I'm not going to give up. I'm not being on my knees for nobody other than Jesus Christ. That's all I'm going to get on my knees for. You might make me get on my knees, but it's going to have to be a make situation. And what I say about that, you're going to have to put one right there. Because if not, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. Not to me, though. No, not ever. I am not suicidal, let me just tell you. But I will tell you this. Before I let somebody come in and take my no. Oh, they'll take them. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And everybody's. You can say what you want. I don't care how many you got or how many of you get together. They're going to put together a new military that'll do what they said, just like I said. Mark my word. Mark my word, it's coming. I don't know how long it'll be, but I bet it won't be long. And all the people that's in there like me or like anybody like you out here that love this country and that would give their life for it, if that was necessary, hopefully not, but like many have. That's what I feel so bad for. All the thousands and millions of people that have lost their lives, that are laying up there or laying in any military cemetery or any regular cemetery. They gave their life, for this shit box we're living in. So that's what it is. It is unbelievable what this place is going to become. And we're sitting here right now. Right now, we know. Within our mind right now, we know what's coming down the pike. You can already hear the train whistle. You just can't see it yet. But you can already hear it. I'm going to tell you something, folks. There's people giving up. Giving up, man. Throwing their cards down and saying, I'm done. I'm not fighting no more. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go that far with it. But what I am going to do is it's going to have, they're going to have to make me. And they will. Anybody that stands up after so long, anybody that stands with them toe to toe. The only reason they're not doing it now is because they can't. Because there's millions of us that are still all the way up. And they're afraid that it wouldn't work out good. And there's still a lot of people that's in our military that would use the equipment in the way they wouldn't want it to be used. And once they're in it and they start, and if that progression ever comes, when you start seeing things rolling down the street, like a third world country or an invaded country, you better be willing to do the things that you never thought you were ready to do, because that's what's going to happen. We're all going to see it one day. It's coming. It's coming. You can think whatever you want to think. But I've had people that didn't believe a word I said and laughed and thought I was out of my mind, that are now telling me, and I'd have never thought I'd have said this to you. But man, this is crazy. I sit and I see things that I used to see just 6 months ago, back in January, that were still not great, but it was still going and going well. And now, it's just like somebody's turning the tap a little bit at a time, a little bit more at a time. Every month that goes by, it's getting turned off a little bit more. It's almost the point where it's going to be click off. It's the most disgusting, depressing shit that I've seen ever in my life. And that any of us have seen. They are making this, or we're making these videos right here, and people's making them and reaction videos and picking them up and all this stuff, because it's getting to where everybody is feeling like they want to submit because they don't have a choice. People's living in their cars. People's living in whatever they can live in. Sleeping on the ground in aspects. I'm going to tell you, here, it's not that bad here. We still have a place that there's thousands, probably 12, 13,000 people work there right now. And they're fixing to put on 2 more thousand. And I have no idea where these cars are going. But they make 5, 6 types of vehicles here. Toyota Camry, the Avalon, Sienna van, some Lexus, some electric vehicles. That's what this plant is, a battery plant. And they're fixed to put on another 2,500, more than what they've already got now. So I think that'd be a total of somewhere between 14 and 15,000. And I know people right now that work there, they get 2 checks after taxes, incentive checks, in May and in November, before Christmas. That could be anywhere between $6,000 and $15,000. Extra money on top of the 100 to 175 or 80,000 that they're making. Some of them there, I would say, some of the managers are making $250,000 easily, especially because the bonuses go off of what you make already. So if you're making $250,000 in November, you're probably going to get a $25,000 or $30,000 check again for your incentive check, because everybody gets them. Office, the line, whatever, you get it. And they start you out there. I think they're starting right out now somewhere between $25 and $30. And when that place first came in here, you had to go in and test. You had to pass. It was almost like taking an IQ test, basically. You had to have so much dexterity, so much be able to movement. I mean, the test they put you through, it was the Japanese tradition. You got selected. The first 10 years this place was in business, if you didn't pass their written test, you didn't get a job. Period. And I'm telling you, I've got people that's been working there since we got out of high school in '85. And they're still working there. They're the only ones right now that can actually do what they still have been doing. Still live. If they've done okay with their money. But I'm telling you folks, mark my word. Mark my word. We have just only scratched the surface. And we think it's bad now. Because it is bad. It ain't no just thinking, it is bad. The things I see in people on here that are going hungry, that are being kicked out of their homes, that, been offing themselves and all of that crazy stuff, is because of what they're being put through today. People have lost complete hope. the young generation, man, I feel sorry for you guys. If any of y'all watch this, and not my analytics say it, you don't. But if anybody is, just happens to be watching it for some reason, I'm sorry you didn't get to experience what I did. Because I'm going to tell you what, the 80s were fabulous. The 90s, where I was making my money, started making my money, was fabulous. Them 10 years, man, rocked. Life was wonderful. Even through the 2000s, 10s, and then on up until about 2017, you could see a big difference from 17 to 20, and then now from 20 to 26. In the last decade, I've seen a change that's just unfathomable. And when you look at pictures, it's crazy how people just looked 2 or 3 years ago in a picture to what you look at now. People look now like they're staring into the abyss of nothing. The look on their face when you see people in passing, it's almost like they just want to just start wailing on somebody. And you're sitting there watching somebody check out their stuff in the store, and I see people going through cards, decline, blink, decline, and finally they get one to work. I'll stand there and just, I've seen people do this with their hands on their head. I mean, wow. All I gotta do is make sure I'm taken care of. Man, I'll be honest with you, I eat like one meal a day. And that's it. Because I don't really feel like eating anymore. But I could sit here and go on like this for 6 hours, probably. But today, I've never made a video that's quite this aggressive at all. But today, it is. That bill today just shoved my ass over the edge. And I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I even told some of my friends that I talked to, about politics. I try not to talk about it. Try not to even talk about it on here because nobody wants to hear it no more. We're all through with that. I am too. After today, done. I'm done. I don't give a shit who's the president. I don't give a shit who anybody is anymore in that area. All they are is a bunch of people that's rich and gonna get richer. And it doesn't make no difference what we think about it. Period. So, folks, all I can tell you is do what you gotta do. But I will tell you this. Try to get into place with yourself that you feel good about something. Because if you don't, man, it'll drive you insane. And I'm going to tell you the only thing, and this is just me speaking for me, I hope it would be something you think about, or hoping it's something that you believe yourself. And if you don't, all I can tell you is that's up to you. But for me, I'm going to put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ, because that's what we all have. And for you, those maybe that's going to click off this video right now because you're not square with that. I can't stop you. Can't help you anymore, because I'm not going to say anything other than I would hope that you would, because this is going to be the only way I see out of this place. And I feel that. I feel that this is the only way that we are going to get out of this, is through that way. It's the death, burial, and resurrection that we believe in. And I do. And I hope anybody that's watching this does as well. And if you don't, I would hope you maybe would give it a shot. Because you got to find some peace, man. Or you're going to wind up being one of these people that just flips out. And I don't think anybody wants to wind up in jail right now and be put behind bars, because whoever's in there in the next year or so, if you think jail's bad now, you wait until the next year or so. There's gonna be people in there that it's gonna be wild. So, folks, take care of yourself, and I hope, pray for you that something works out in your life, that you can find your happiness where you can. And but we're gonna have to somehow hang on to these and try to make a stand somewhere, because that's where it's coming to. It's coming there. That's where it's going. And to all of my fellow guys out there, ladies, and whatever, that think like that, get with your neighbors, get with the people that you're around, and get a group. 2's better than 1. 10's better than 5, and so on. But anyway, folks, it's been over a 30-minute video, and I thank you if you've stayed this long. If you want to share this video, I appreciate it. If you want to subscribe and you want to like, I appreciate that as well. I do that for people because it doesn't cost me anything. And then if you don't want to see any more of them later on, you can always go to your subscriptions and disappear. You know more about it than I do, I'm sure. But I do that for everybody, to try to push them up and give them a little bit more. Because a lot of the people that's on here right now making their living right here, making their living doing it, and getting them, pulling themselves out a little bit while they can. But thank you. If you do, I appreciate it. If you don't, I understand. Either way, what I hope you do is do what I said earlier. If you can find it some way to give that a chance, it will bring you some peace, prolonged longer than anything else will. So folks, take care of yourself. Try to do the best you can, and hope and pray we have some time left to do some other things. But get yourself prepared. Don't go out here and be like some people are telling you, go out here and try to buy thousands of dollars worth of food and put it back, and all this other stuff, the prep, and just, man, if you just get some essentials. If we get to a point where we have to have more than a couple of weeks worth of something to eat, that's all it's going to be anyway, because all the stores are going to be empty. When that's going on, look out, because people are going to start trying to find food where they can, and when that happens, you're going to have to protect whatever you got with your life, matter of fact. Be careful, folks. Take care. God bless. Thanks.